Hello there, Internet. I like to start conversations by snorting loudly to signpost my crippling addiction to cocaine. We've been through this before, you should already know it. Anyway, lets people know what to expect. I've been kind of just suffering through the game playing a Fireclaw Druid because, you know, sometimes you just want to suffer. I think my mic wasn't working right until just then. I think I may have just fixed it, but we'll see. Hopefully it hasn't balked too many hours of streaming. So look, bear, druid, you know, bear, chunky bear. Basic stuff, nothing fancy. Struggling our way through hell. But, so something so I found this, which is cool, while playing with the bear. Found this, which is kind of worthless, because what do you want +1 to curses for? Found this, but I'm pretty sure this is a really, really bad ED roll. Which sucks, because this is actually my holy grail bow. Like, I literally found a wind force before I found this. And here it is. And I'm telling you, this thing is monstrous if you actually upgrade it and put good stuff in the sockets. And then I also found this rip hook. Always beautiful to have a rip hook. Rip hook is such a freaking good bow. And this one has an even better roll than mine, but I already upgraded mine, so it is what it is. But yeah, I went through Nightmare, and look, I could still be going through hell with this thing. This is like, people always talk about Butcher's Cleaver and Head Striker as like really like elite, exceptional grade weapons, but you just look at this for a moment. Like, look at everything this thing has. This thing is monstrous. It's just way harder to farm than either of those, and it can get a way better ED roll. Like, it can go up to like, 200%. So if you get a really good ED roll on this thing, like 200%, with adds 35 to 50 damage, that is a huge add damage. That is bigger than the add damage on Butcher's Cleaver. It has Crushing Blow, which Butcher's Cleaver doesn't. It has Deadly Strike. Yeah, Butcher's Cleaver does have that. And it has Open Wounds, and it has Prevent Sponsor Heal. Prevent Sponsor Heal and Open Wounds, a little bit redundant, but nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with stacking both. Maybe you have to run away, maybe you have to do something. Just who cares, right? It's just an added affix that's good. And then just to have those all those shape-shifting skills and stuff is just gravy. Like, if I were if you're doing any kind of melee druid, you just clear the game with this thing. It's so freaking good. And I could be using it even now, for a safer shot with the fire claws, like this and some kind of shield. Anyway, but yeah, so you can see what I'm using. But something I literally only just discovered was, where is my? Oh, here it is. The Flame Rift. So, literally didn't even realize that, Flame Rift, that they lower your fire resistance. And, because it's kind of the main reason why I wanted to do the fire, some kind of fire druid, because I found this, which is cool. I know you can make obedience, and I thought, oh yeah, chuck a Flame Rift in. I just kill everything with fire damage, right? Wrong. No. We were born to suffer and die and fade and expire and just not have a good time. But honestly, I don't when I make a build like this, I kind of go pick a mix, and I know maybe that's not the most optimal way to do it. But let me show you what I actually have. So you can see I just got a little bit of everything. When I feel like I don't have enough life, I'll just chuck some more points in here. If I feel like I need more, just flat base melee damage, I put more points in here. If I want more fire damage, chuck more points into the synergies. If I want more AR, chuck more points in here. This obviously gives damage as well, which is nice. And, just kind of, mix it up a bit, right? So, the damage is, one thing I can't say about Fire Claws with Obedience is that the freaking damage is lacking. Because that is a big number, all right? And particularly with the Obedience, it's not all fire damage, and you've got a lot of Crushing Blows. So you can, these guys are fire immune. This is players 3. This is what I say. Like, look, I know that like the urge to kind of really hard min-max is always there. Ooh, ooh. Oh my god. Okay. Is there a reason why I just don't leech? Anyway, so the physical damage is not bad. Of course, I'm playing... I say that, but I'm playing something with a two-handed weapon in hell, so naturally, as you can see, there is a lot of misery to be had. There's a lot of, like, disgustingly yo-yoing health. Like, I have every single thing in my kit has resistances on it. This is 10 resist all, this is 15 resist all, this has 50 fire resist, this doesn't have any resist, but, you know, whatever. This is 10 resist all, this has cold absorb, you know, this has double resistance, this has 25 resist all. Like, you know, I'm not like slacking off. I'm like, short of like putting Kira's Guardian on, I don't understand. Like, I do not know how you get your resistance sorted in hell. Like, yeah, charms as well, of course. But then it's like, well, you know. Oh, what a cool find. Oh my god, the poison. But yeah, short of like, you know, just stumbling on a bunch of like really good like resist all charms or something. Like, you just don't have resistances in hell as this bear. You don't have physical block. So this is a cool shield. Really nice shield for a blade sin. And to be honest, not a bad shield for a druid either, because druids kind of have like a balked block chance anyway, so all you really want as a druid is like, you know, a big chunk of resistances and like maybe some nice utility or something. Like obviously like a storm shield or something is gonna really put you in good stead. But yeah, like I could just go through with like this, and it doesn't actually sort my resistances because like I don't have a diamond or anything. This does give resist all, but like even then, it's still just like just a smidgen better. And like believe me, this thing is we'll just hack them up nicely, or you know, lean harder into the like I said, you know, you can just like literally clear hell with this. I'll just go kill some stuff with this just for funsies. And like I will have some block chance on this shield. Yeah, so even 26%, just factor that in, that it's like, okay, now I just take 26% less damage. It's literally like I just put a storm shield on. Not quite, but it's almost like I just, you know, just chucked on a sharp stop or something. Like, it's crazy when you really think about it like this. But, see, the problem with this weapon is it's slow. And it's going to take a lot longer to, like, beat down the fire resistance. Oh, wait, I'm not even using Fire Claw, and I'm still just... It's like, I don't know. I've seen people struggle so much on the Fire Claw Druid, because I think they just... So they want to do this, like, hard min-max thing, right? Where... like, you know, you use like a Shale F crystal sword or something, or like a spirit. Like all you care about is like these guys are immune to fire, and this is just with this like club. This plays 3. It just knocks them down, you know. But obviously I can switch to the obedience and do like real damage. Just. The only thing that genuinely makes me like super unhappy about playing this build is like, so in theory you have this like nice gameplay loop, right, where it's like you've got this huge chunk of fire damage, but you know there's going to be like plenty of stuff that's immune to fire damage. You know, and that's just kind of like the way the cookie crumbles. I probably should start going for Grizzly just to get that even 1 point in it, but there are still quite a lot of skills that would be good to max. Anyway, let's just get a little bit more life. Oh, we've got a Defiance. But yeah, like, the obedience is strong. Like, obedience is such an easy item to get that, to me, this feels like probably has to be one of the... It has to be one of the easier... boyos to actually gear for like, to do good damage. The only problem is, like, as I said, like you saw how much, like, health that just one shot because of the lightning tick. Like, you cannot really use a two-handed, like, look, I say you can't. I say you can't use a two-handed weapon. That's not true. I have a Holy Freeze Merc with Reaper's Toll for a reason. I have Maul, so I can CC stuff. The only problem is, like, Maul, I don't know, Maul is kind of, like, amazing at CCing things you don't really need to CC. And it's kind of like the stuff that you desperately need and want and must CC before it fucking insta-deletes you, it's absolutely shit at doing anything about. So, you know, unfortunate. But, like, a bunch of, like, spread out ranged enemies, nope. But anyway, so you're supposed to have this gameplay loop with this guy, and you kind of do, where it's like, you've got this disgustingly, like, gigantic life pool. It's like comedy, you know, gag reel size. It's so big that, like, potions are basically meaningless because it just yo-yos so much because you don't have the distances and you don't have a shield and blah 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 blah. But then you're supposed to have this ability where you could just, like, leech an absolute, you know, chunk of life. And it's like, it kind of works. You can also just die because you're trying to use it. Because your life can yo-you so much that it's like, if it misses once, you're dead. Because it's like, you have 400 life, you need to be back on, like, 800 life, like, yesterday. Because something's about to do 500 damage to you. If I were going to, like, adjust this game and, like, genuinely, like, just look at the bear, because the bear is the worst thing in the game. Like, it works because, like, the bear can work because of shit like this that is so broken and so power creepy and just happens to, like, you know, like what the heck, like, what would you do if you didn't just have an obedience that you could target farm for? So that's just like, well, I'm going through hell, so much shit is just going to be immune to fire, but, like, okay, now I have all this crushing blow, you know, I have a big chunk of just, like, raw physical damage, I could just kind of beat them down, and, you know, yeah, I don't get to use a shield, but at least it gives me, like, a big chunk of resistances, and, you know, it gives me hit recovery, which I desperately need, because the druid's, like, recovery frames are literally in the toilet. So, you know, you've got this, like, item that's just, like, absolutely god tier for what you're doing. That's really easy to target farm for. And, like, you know, like I said, like, the one thing I cannot criticize this for is, like, damage. Like, if you genuinely build a Fireclaw Druid, like, not to be, like, a solo spec, you know, kind of build where all you're worried about is, like, plus skills and attack rating, and I just don't understand why you do that. Like, yeah, look, we can't leech. Okay, now I kind of leech a little bit. Is it just like they have so much physical immunity that I think that may be it. Maybe they just have so much fucking physical resistance that, you know, because normally the leech, like, you get a lot of freaking leech from that ability. But you seem to leech bugger all against elites, which is really disappointing, and it shouldn't be like that. There's no reason for it to be like that. But then it's just like, I mean, look at this guy. That literally guy just got one shot. Like, this is Players 3. This is hell. This is a melee character. Like, you don't normally get to, like, feel that strong. You know, unless you have, like, some genuinely godly setup. And this thing is super strong, but honestly, like, 100%. In fact, you know what? It literally doesn't matter. I'm going to put Yellow's main back on, and it's going to actually be better, because I'll have better resistances, and I'll have better attack rating, and just be, like, happier all around. Also means I won't waste mana when I kill stuff, because that hat is, like, nice. Yeah, see, it takes a lot longer to, like, chunk these guys down without that hat. Actually, no, it shouldn't make any difference, to be honest, with these guys, because they're just immune no matter what. It's not like I'm using the Sunder Charm. But yeah, so I don't even, like, I tried the Sunder Charm a little bit. I don't think it's particularly helpful, to be honest. It's great on the Sorceress, because, you know, the Sorceress just already has reduced cold for free. And while, like, obviously she doesn't want, like, negative resists, like nobody does, but... Alright. I know where I'm going. I should, because it's, like, the last direction to go. Classic. But yeah, obviously the Sorceress doesn't want negative resist, but she can cope with it, because she has a range advantage. Similar sort of situation to, like, an Amazon. Like, when you're a melee character, you just have to run into everything. Like, you need to be tankier, not less tanky. And a lot of the time, the sad reality is you're going to kind of be less tanky. Because let's say, like, alright, you wanna tank stuff, right? Cool. Well, like, what's the... I hate this shit. And I can't even fucking shockwave the piece of crap. But yeah. If you want to be tanky, like, the best way to mitigate damage is to just not take damage in the first place. And, you know, that's... There's no way of, like... Like, there is no numerical comparison in that. I can't even click on this, like... Why did they do this to the game? Like, genuinely, the number of times I just have, like, the most miserable time as any kind of melee character that just needs to click on enemies, because, like, there's an enemy, its hitbox is the size of this fucking bear, you click on it, and you just run straight past it, and then you click on it again, you run straight past it, you run straight past it. Like, I guarantee you, this is because of auto-targeting, because they tried to make this, you know, playable on controller, 100%. Because trust, like, I've been playing this game longer than a lot of gamers have fucking been alive. I know how this game used to play. It did not play like this. But yeah, like, chunking through these guys is not going to be that quick. But it's also not, like this, again, this is Players 3. If you wanted a quicker clear, you can adjust it down a little bit, and you kill those guys in, like, you know, 3 or 4 shots or something. Not even that bad. But yeah, I get, like, so frustrated by that, because it's like, this game should, like... There should be, like, almost no, like, fucking mechanical challenge in a game like this, where it's like, oh, well, I have to aim, I have to hit the enemy, but it's like, wait, what am I missing? Like, you literally just saw it.
I can't carry anymore.
I think the biggest problem is like when you are holding down instead of like automatically switching to another target. Like I think you genuinely have to like let your mouse go and then like click again on the second target, and I guarantee you it's a controller problem. And it seems so much worse on the left clicks in particular. And it's genuinely like maddening. It's like I would not play this game in hardcore in this state, because like I can genuinely see like in my mind's eye how this shit gets you killed. Like I can 100% see it. Like you're trying to kite around misshapen or something and like dodge lightning bolts and then just kind of like weave in and you know, get some hits off, but like you just can't because you can't actually fucking click on them, or you run past them or into them, or but yeah, the one thing I can't say about this is like damage wise that it has a like when you if you go somewhere where like nothing is immune to fire, you just put this on like players 8, like that is really anywhere in hell where nothing is immune to fire, but teleport my fucking mercenary over.
What can I do for you?
But yeah, if I were going to, you know, look at the balancing in this game, obviously there's so many things that would need to be looked at, but like just literally just like juggling numbers on skills. One of the things I would do 100% is actually hold on. I'm gonna deal with that. But yeah, one of the things I would do is I would basically make it so that instead of giving you extra life, or maybe a tiny bit, but that a lot of the abilities that give you life, instead of giving you life, like they give you, you know, like a chunk of like physical resistances or something. But yeah, I don't know. I will say this again and again, like just don't play as a melee character in this game if you like look, trust me, 100%. I'm doing this now because I want to like mess around with gear. You know, it's softcore. I genuinely like, I don't mind kind of suffering a little bit. This guy got through Nightmare and Normal as a fire druid, you know, and if I really wanted, like, I could take all this guy's equipment off right now, everything, literally everything, and play through the whole of hell as a summon druid and never die. And never, like, you know, feel underpowered or like I need to go farm some like high level shit to not make the experience miserable. Like what was that? What is it? Like, these enemies are not even moving, and I can't, like, I hold the mouse button on them when they're fucking stationary and do a jig, a 360 jig around them instead of just fucking attacking them. It's so maddening. Like, it's not bad enough that, you know, just on raw numbers, like, the characters kind of suck. Like, the game actually just has to be, like, flatly unplayable for them now because of fucking controller support. But yeah, like, just don't do this to have fun. Like, you're not gonna fucking have fun with this. Like, I'm telling you, like, and there's no amount of like theory crafting. I'll get this item and I'll get that and I'll farm this and 7 of these, and you'll see my druid will be so fucking amazing. It won't. It won't. The moment you come up against a group of fanaticism deathlords, they will just humble you. Your balls will shrink. They'll go back inside your stomach. They'll never come out for 10 years. You'll think you have this amazing build. As soon as it comes up against something that's actually challenging, that like legitimately tests shit, like you will just be snapped like a fucking dry branch over the game's knee. I'm not even playing with you. Like, yeah, maybe there's some setup with like absolute god tier rune words and this and that, but but whatever you can set a build like this up to do, you know, a better build just does the same thing easier or does it faster. But like I say, it's fine because it's like the game has respecs now, so you know, just mess around with it, play around with it, try something else. I'm kind of having fun with this. Like, it's fun to just absolutely decimate Andario like that.
Dario, your reign is over.
But, okay, when I say, like, playing a build like this, anything like this is not fun. That's not true.
Yes. Greetings.
It can be fun, but it's a different kind of fun. It's like the fun of knowing you are weak, of knowing you're actually like an underdog, and there's nothing you can really do to like, you know, properly change that. Like, as I said, if I want to have an easy time of it, I can literally not even change anything about this setup, even though this is like a melee setup. Keep all this statted for all of this, right? And just completely respec into being, you know, a summoning druid, and just go out and literally be AFK while the game just loses to me while I'm AFK. On players A. If I want to have something sort of a little bit more active than that, I can go be a wind druid. It's just literally free. I just win the game, even with all this equipment, which is all fire oriented and no faster cast rate. Doesn't matter. It just makes it a little bit slower. If I wanted to switch to a fire druid and like get this out, it would be really spicy because I'd have like negative fire resistance myself. But I'd also be doing a lot of damage and a lot of AoE damage. And yeah, I don't know. But like I said, there's so many things you could do to make the bear better. And as I said, like, damage is not the problem on the bear.
Greeting.
It kind of is on Maul. Because if you actually look at the numbers on Maul, by the way, like, so like, alright, you've got just normal ass werebear, which can just flat, gives you like 10% damage per level. You've got this, which can get up to like, you know, I don't know, 200 and something. And then you've got Maul, which when it's like fully maxed out, you know, goes up to like, you know, a couple hundred or something. So it's like your physical, like the amount of damage you should get as a Maul bear, the amount of just raw physical damage you should get, should be pretty freaking decent. It just ain't. It never has been. And I have a funny feeling that Maul is just broken. Like, it just doesn't work.
How do I know I can trust you?
I could be like wildly wrong on that, but it just genuinely seems like when you just, it's kind of like, I don't know, the numbers that you see just don't seem to like bear out on screen. And doing Radamant is going to be like a pretty good test. Since there's like nothing but fire immunes down there. But like I say, just like, if you're playing this kind of druid, like the one thing you should not lack for is damage. And I promise you, like, you may think like, oh, I'm gonna go like double spirit, like just pure plus skills, just keep watching that fire damage go up and up and up and up and up, and then it's just like, yeah, sure, but like everything in hell is fucking immune to fire, so then what? Now, see, sometimes you get these, like, engagements where everything just goes, like, picture perfect. You, like, lean perfectly into, like, your gameplay loop. You know, like you do a little bit of leeching. You keep everything locked down. And you just kind of like chunk your way through it. Like he's all immune to fire, but it doesn't matter. You know, we've got the curse on us, but we're doing okay. We're using our skills, we're in a decent position. I just want to clean these jerks out. So it's like, as I say, in theory, you do have this like fun gameplay loop, which I really like, and it's so much better than a lot of like.
Stay a while and listen.
Like, there's a reason why you haven't seen me play a paladin, for example.
Hello.
Because I genuinely find that kind of like zealot, even like the werewolf, you know, similar sort of thing. That method of playing like as a melee character is just like, okay, just walk in your room, click on everything. You know, there's like no amount of like, there's no kind of like juggling of skills or alternating of abilities. There's no like, oh, okay, I can do this if I'm getting like overwhelmed. I mean, of course you have basic positioning and stuff. You can like go back to a doorway or something, but I don't know. It's just like, the gameplay loop feels very one-dimensional. And although this is not exactly rocket science, also, alright. Normally, if it's not to this side, it will just be to the other side. But yeah, definitely play these kinds of characters for like a challenge and for the fun of it. But like, 100% expect to be like let down a lot by things that just kind of like not working properly, or like, oh wow, if this actually like, you know, if it could feel like this even, you know, 20% of the time, like I would love this, you know. But like, no, genuinely, imagine if like that fight I just had there, imagine if that was how playing a melee character in this game felt all the time. Like, and it just ain't. And most of that comes down to, you know, it's just the reality of like range advantages, and just, I don't know, they never got, I think one of the big problems with this game was like, because so many characters are kind of like, you know, not like, they don't have like a really clear identity in the sense of like, okay, this one's the melee fighter, this one's the caster. Like paladins can be casters, they can be melee fighters, they can be melee fighters that focus on elemental damage or physical damage. Druids, same deal. Even like barbarians can be casters, you know. And I love that diversity, but it makes it really hard to like balance the kind of what you would call like, I guess, the base stats of the characters. Like, you know, how tanky should this character be? How good should their like, you know, just base recovery frames be? You know, how easy you should put like what kind of survival tools can they have in their kit, and blah 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 blah. You know, and I can totally understand why, like, you know, things aren't balanced the way they necessarily should be, right? Like, druids need to be like so much more tanky than they actually are to feel good. I mean, just on their, in terms of their base kit, like specifically a melee druid. But then a summoning druid is kind of 3 times tankier than they need to be if you use Oak Sage. Like, you literally have no stat to pump other than Vitality, and then you can still have Oak Sage on top of it, and then there's just a wall of meat between you and anything that wants to hurt you. Like an unbeatable wall of meat. They'll just die to you immediately. It's a similar sort of thing with, like, you know, like a summoning Necro. You know, summoning Necro can literally be like, have negative resistances, no shield, like, pretty much just ignore Vitality as a stat, and still feel you know, not like they're constantly on the verge of death. Melee characters can have, you know, you can have like a barbarian who has like passable resistances because you've like really pumped, you know, like you've actually like thrown some points at your passive resistance skills. You know, you've really like
It is an honor
gone
to
heavy
serve you.
into resist on charms and all that sort of stuff. You've got your battle orders spec. You're like genuinely like 2,500, 3,000 hit points. Like you're just chunky, you're just wide, and you still feel like you're made of paper because of the shit you just have to run straight into. And you know, barbarians actually kind of get a cheat sheet on that one because you can use like Howl and Taunt. To really kind of like manipulate enemies and just kind of control the space. That's a way better hustle base than this, so why not? And you know, druids have CC and blah 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 blah. I'm not even sure what I was saying. Half asleep. Alright. Shale Co L. I definitely found a co-rune somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Shale, 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 shale. Normally I don't like this armor, like it looks so like just grubby and ratchet, like the freaking poverty armor, but I feel like it suits a druid.
Good evening.
Because they are, you know, grubbing around in like the dirt to make some armor out of like bits. But yeah, like, you play a barbarian, like you got really good defenses. Like your physical defense rating is high, obviously, like Shao, stones get more defense. Like, but if you really want to feel invincible as a barbarian, like forget concentration, forget, like just play a singer. Because now you're just like a, you know, a CC machine with AoE damage and, you know, 3,000 health and passive resistances. But like, you know, look at this. A lot of these guys are immune to fire. Not these skeletons, but the, I don't know, these sand raiders aren't. But yeah, when you get to enemies that aren't immune to fire, like, they just get bombed. This guy is super helpful, but I did have a hustle on him before, when I was doing an Act 1, and it was fine. So I was going with like the hustle and the Sunder Charm. With the big minus fire res. Stunning them and then killing the guys I can't stun first. I'm so used to like target priority of just like, okay, just get rid of the weakest first. But it's fun to play a melee character that has tools. And when I say tools, I mean like, I don't know. There's just, I'm not really a fan of like Howl and Taunt. The gameplay feels like agonizingly slow. And like Hal makes space, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel good. Like this feels very, very much like a Berserker in that, you know, you kind of like lock down the minions and then you kind of like dive the elites and the threats just because you want to get rid of them first, not because everything else has just run away. So then you kind of deal with everything else as well. I don't know. I feel like this, like if you, for whatever reason, you like the idea of playing something like a Berserker, but the actual like gameplay loop of Berserker doesn't suit you. Like you know, I have my Berserker and I can't be bothered leveling him up. It's so miserable trying to level him up. Whereas I feel like I'll be perfectly fine leveling this guy up. Took me so freaking long to finally exit. Ended up finding the waypoint first, and of course, in the last place. But yeah, this is going to be like a decent little test. Taking on Radaman. You know, all these fire immune jerks. But I feel like we're doing good. I don't have the flame. Oh, I do have that. See, I don't want that thing on because it balks my fire resistance. And it definitely improves the damage, but not that much. Yeah, when stuff is like not fire immune, but when stuff is fire immune, like there's a couple of shots. And the Reaper's Toll definitely helps. The Freeze Aura helps as well, but a Hustle is super helpful too. Like as I said, I had him with a Hustle. And he was doing the business. Foul back. Isn't that what they called your mama? Okay, so that little squabble actually went like way more smooth, and I think the thing is just like I'm really having to just like hold down shift in these like melee fights to not end up sort of like repositioning. And I remember doing that back in the day, like having to hold down shift if I like didn't want to lose a position or something, like I was standing in the doorway. But I didn't feel like I needed to do it in all of these fights. But yeah, like come on, the one thing you can't say about this is it has bad damage. And to be honest, you know, remember the one piece of gear here that you can 100% get if you're like solo self-out are these two things. You know, like a lot of this stuff is just junk, right? This is a really nice item. It's not the best roll, and this is obviously a great hat for a druid. But like, you could do this with the bulwark. You could do this with the. You know, honestly, maybe a bulwark or a vamp gaze or something. But, you know, ideally, you would want a hat that had a lot of resistances, because, like, Christ, you got to get resistance somewhere. But a rock stopper or something? A rock stopper could be really nice on this. You know, the belt could be, like, IK with, like, IK gloves. In fact, that was originally what I wanted to do, but I literally have IK stuff on my Berserker and I, like, don't have spares. Because I would much you know, I'd rather have the 2 resists on the IK belt, and then like IK gloves, and then maybe IK goos. I kind of need the resist on this though, but you know, whatever. But it would be really nice to get all that extra dex and all that extra attack rating. Mercenary! Hello? It wasn't like I desperately needed his help or anything, but like, it's just a little bit freaking insulting of the little shit to just stand there. We're supposed to be a team. Maybe it's because I didn't get an Emilio. But like that is just like a nice bit of dopamine. Hello, hello mercenary. Like when we have good positioning and we like just like lumping these guys as a team, we've got the stuns, we got the holy freeze, we got the decrepify. It feels pretty freaking spicy, pretty strong. Of course, yeah. All of the problems with a melee character, any melee character you play, will start manifesting when basically you lose control of the positioning of the fight. In other words, and when that happens as a melee character is when something has range advantage on you. Like now you have, like I had the most miserable fight with this exact character earlier when I was in the jails. And I could have skipped it, but it was one of those things where I was like, if anyone saw me like taking on the souls in the Worldstone Keep, and I kept saying, you know, you should skip this, you should skip this, you should skip this, but I just kind of want to do it. You know, it was one of those situations, it took me so long. They were kind of like split. There were 2 boss packs. They were Fanaticism, and they were like split. So, you know, one boss pack was kind of on one set of bars, and you had to take this huge detour to even get to them. And then the other boss pack was on the other set, on the other side, but the aura was like hitting both, and like they could just shred in, like, you know, as you can imagine, no shield, not the best resistances, you know, could literally do like 1,000 damage in, you know, half a second. They could kill my mercenary so fast. Like, even like throwing the Oak Sage in front of them just to kind of like get a second to deal with them. And like kind of all I did, and often this is kind of all you do in this game, is like there isn't that much strategy to it. It's just like you dive in, you try to get something done without dying, and then it's like you literally just like, oh shit, I'm dying, and then you go back to town, you get your mercenary back, you get some more potions, you get fully healed, whatever, right? And then you just go back in and you just literally try it again. And it's just like, how can I crack this nut? I have to kind of like just keep going around it, looking for this like, you know, opportunity and opening. Something's going to happen. One of them's going to wander away. One of them's going to come into this room. And eventually this shit like that will start happening. If you just stay alive and just keep like calmly trying to like sort the problem out. Now, like this is a bit nasty. We've got like, wait, who just healed this guy? Around a fucking corner? But yeah, so it's like this. Like, what, you know, what do you do? Well, you know, step one is like, okay, well, if I die, then there's no way I can try to solve this problem, right? And honestly, I don't really know how to solve this problem. Like, in theory, yes, separate them, pull them apart, you know, pick them off a little bit. Maybe if the opportunity existed, it's not going to exist because this is hell difficulty, and the game designers don't give a shit about whether or not you can actually engage with mechanics
I bet you.
on hell difficulty. Most of them you can't. But yes, in theory, maybe if you got the chance to like stun everything else and dive the guy. How the fuck did they get over here? But yeah, like this doesn't turn out to even be that bad. The mercenary kind of just hard carries it. Oh my god. This just like not being able to click on shit is really fucking with me. Man, it would have been so cool if I had the actual like quest icon come up here, so I knew Radamant was there and wasn't like wondering why the health stuff was just going up. But yeah, like this sort of stuff, this feels pretty cool. Like, where we're just kind of like stunning the minions. And of course, I get hard fucked by just randomly turning back into a druid. That's something that just shouldn't exist in the game, by the way.
Radamant, return to dust.
But it's fine. It's probably... I get the feeling that it's not even something they could code into the game, like abilities that are just like toggle on, toggle off. But,
Stay a while and listen.
but both transformations should just be toggle on, toggle off, and from a balance standpoint, it's really kind of stupid that they're not. It's also stupid that a barbarian can't buff in town while a sorceress can. Like just little things like that it's just like, oh yeah, okay. You know. Like there are obviously reasons why, but at the same time it's just kind of like there's no way like a modern ARPG would have balancing that's just like that balked, unless it was, you know, like something where it's just like they just didn't understand some exploit or whatever. What the hell do I even want? Like I feel like life at this point is just like, yeah, sure, but like, so one of the nice things about this build is like, and one of the nice things about all the druid builds, to be honest, well, at least the bear related ones, is like, you never kind of have that, like, you ever had that horrible feeling where you're like playing a whirlwind barbarian and you're like, oh, I'm 2/3 of the way through Nightmare, and like, this is as good as it's ever going to get. Like, my mastery is maxed, my whirlwind is maxed, like, yeah, I can get more life from battle orders, you know, I can get more, like a little bit of this, I can maybe get a few more like passive resistances or something, but like, it really just, like, there are no more power spikes to be had with this build. And that's such a depressing feeling. With this, I almost kind of feel like I can get all these like legitimate power gains every time I level up. Like I can pick, like, do I want more life? Do I want more attack rating? Do I want more fire damage? Do I want more, you know, base melee damage? It's all there on the table, but it also kind of feels like a little bit like what I really want a fucking resistance is. You know, like the one thing I like just desperately want and I can't really get it. Because like more life, you know, sure, like I'm not going to complain about it, but at the same time, it's just like this huge sack that the potions can't feel. Because it yo-yos so badly with no shield and bad resistances. And yeah, like I can get more damage, but Jesus, the damage just does, like, the damage is the one thing I can't complain about. Even against the fire immunes, I can't complain about it. Like these boys, they're immune to fire. We just smack them. When you get to the stuff that is immune to fire, like a lot of the time it's just straight one-shot. It's so nice to play with a hustle as well and actually be able to like run around. And like I know I should put like, if I want to stop whining about my resistances, I can put like a smoke on. You know, I could get like a 20 resistol amulet, blah 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 blah. But like, and this is the biggest problem when it comes to playing a two-hander, is like, what makes this game fun is itemization. When it's literally just like, okay, because I'm using a two-hander, every single fucking gear slot now just resistances. That's all. That's literally all I can do. Just resistances. Oh, what kind of boots am I going to wear? Tri-res, res. Oh, what kind of gloves? Dual res. Can they have IAS? No, you need dual res. Can I wear this? No, you need dual res. Can I wear a ring with it? No, you need an all res ring. Can I wear this? No, you need an all res amulet. Could it? No. Res. And it's like, it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, fine. So, you know, as much as it sucks to have like less resistances than I would like, I'm already doing shit that's like I don't want to do, and I'm not gonna have shit attack speed. Like, come on, look at that. It's not the worst. I don't know, the breakpoints on the bear are so weird. I wouldn't be surprised if it genuinely doesn't even make that much difference. But I also like to be able to, especially as a melee guy, because reposition is even more important. But yeah, I just freaking hate smoke, because it literally does nothing apart from a real chunk of distances. And I did try this briefly with like Duriel Shell, like thinking, alright, well, I'll wear Duriel Shell, I'll wear another 10 all-res rings, because I don't need the Ravenfrost then. And like, just didn't. As I said, if like the one thing you have going for you is this like, you know, big single target buff, and that's where like the dopamine in the build comes from, then like, why make that less fun to like engage with? But I don't know, maybe. Alright, let's. I probably shouldn't just take my armor off, but I kind of want to just try. It's not terrible, it's just like, I know against like a fire immune, it's gonna suck. And also, just fat, waddling piece of shit. Like, I want to be able to move. We're not just gonna walk into the middle of that. Like dive on the maggots before they could start pooping out their feathers, but I also didn't want to be freaking surrounded by swarms. See, like that, like I could kind of leech up like a good chunk of life. But then sometimes it's just like, oh, okay, you can't really rely on it. I'll use my broadsword. In there. Like, this leech thing is really, like, central to the gameplay loop if you're playing a bear. Maybe, honestly, maybe I should. But I still have my hell respec, so, you know, plenty of time to just kind of think it over. But the main thing is, like, you know, if you put points in it and it's super reliable, then you have to use it less, and it, like, I mean, if that, because the attack rating gets better, the amount of leech gets more. And as I say, I think that skill is very much, like, central to it. Well, not central, but it's definitely part of your gameplay loop. Like, you have this, which gives you some, like, damage mitigation, some crowd control. But you're still going to take hits. And you're too freaking fat for health potions to work properly. So you need some way to, like, really just quickly, like, keep your life topped off. And that's, in theory, that's your tool. The problem is, like, it can miss, and you can then just die. So, I tend to not rely on it that much, and then just end up, like, eating more juvies than I'm really comfortable eating. But also, like, it's not like I'm running out of bread. But it's kind of fun to play like this, like the constant repositioning and everything. Like, Howl, to me, Howl is a great ability, but like, for just pushing a barbarian through hell. But I'm not gonna lie, 90% of that is just not doing anything, like just howling at through areas. And it's like, yeah, I suppose I can shockwave and run through here, but like something about just having the enemies like physically locked down to me really incentivizes you to actually take a fight. Like, I feel way more in control of the melee fights as a bear than I do as a, you know, a barbarian with like shouts and taunts. But I do know that's actually a bit of an illusion, because like, the barbarian can use taunt to deal with things that like shockwave just is not good. Like, shockwave just doesn't have the range to really be an answer to things like archers. But this is one of the reasons why I like freaking Love Hustle so much, because just being able to like
Can't carry anymore.
deep drop. Not much point identifying that. But yeah, I don't feel any need to like put the, I'm sure everyone's seen that, but still cool. Don't like to totally disrespect the unique drop by not even identifying it. And right now, just looking for the maggot lair. Also, one of the things that's like feels really punishing about playing like a weak build in this game, and this is why I won't say this is like obviously it's weak compared to like a sorceress, but the damage is there at least. And one of the things about doing this game when at least the damage is there, it's like, oh, well, you know what? At least I freaking do damage. Like, when you do damage, you can get some shit done. And one of those things that you can do when you just have some damage is like, you can just play on a higher player setting, right? And then you can kind of just chill and enjoy going through the areas. Whereas, like, you can't play like this on players one and like get anywhere in the game. Like, you just spend so long just physically like fighting through all the stuff that like the EXP is not good. It doesn't drop anything. It's just like, it's so sad. And just having some damage like completely cures that. Now at least like you're in the game, like you're playing the game a bit, You're not just kind of like struggling to get to your like next efficient farm spot. Like, of course, if it was here, you'd probably be doing Beetle Burst, but like, so you'd already know that. And where is the freaking maggot lair? I mean, that's the way out, sure. I love Hustle though. Like, look how freaking fast I run. Like, I can't trade this for an extra 40 resist all. It would be really nice. Just almost max my resist. You know how tanky this guy would be then? Would actually, like, feel pretty tanky, but still with no shield. Oh my god, it's so bad. But it's, like, there's no amount of, like, nothing can make up for the quality of life of skills of just being able to, like, run down this area so fast. But yeah, obedience is so stupid in this pair. Like, it gives you, like, enough physical damage to work with, right? Where it's just like, yeah, okay, now, as long as I have my spirit up and I'm in bear form and I'm just getting the base physical damage buffs from that, like, I can deal with shit that's fire immune. It's not optimal, but it will do it. And then it's just like, it sorts my attack rating problems out because it gives me this freaking level 21 enchant when I kill enemies. It helps with my garbage recovery frames. It's got minus 25% target defense, even more help with my attack rating. A little bit of cold damage for CC. Who doesn't love that? Just a flat 25% enemy fire resistance on your fire cores. That is so disgustingly huge. Crushing blow, amazing for bosses, amazing for chunking down elites and stuff who are immune to fire. Plus strength, who cares? Plus dex, who cares? Plus defense, you get extra defense in bear form, if you got high defense armor, it'll maybe do something. 25 resist all, beautiful. Minus requirements, beautiful. Like, everything about this weapon is just like, give it to the bear, give it to the bear. Like, it's good for everyone because it's so freaking OP, but man, like, it's just made for that. Because, like, who else is going to use a Holy Fire Paladin? Like, come on, you can't. You can't you can't really play a two-hander on a paladin and expect to have a good time. And I know people do it, but they're challenge runners and they want the suffering, and, like, you don't want that suffering in your life, trust me. Like, this is already suffering enough. I could have switched to the... Hold on. Yeah, I could have switched to the Sunder Charm to see how that would work, but I had a feeling the Cripple Fire would proc and...
I am overburdened.
I remember that. Yeah, the Maggot Lair is always like... For a character like this who just kills stuff one at a time, Maggot Lair is either like the happy place, because now it's just like, haha, now you have to fight for my way. You know, like some old kung fu movie, they're all just like lining up to take you on one at a time. But it can also very quickly turn into like a place of great suffering. Just here to borrow some help. Now I'm leaving. Goodbye. That yo-yoing health level though. But honestly, in many cases, it looks like it's going down really far. But you still have like 600-700 health. And you know, you always just have the option to like throw out a couple of these and just run away. Which is like, you know, it doesn't feel good having to run away in a game like this. But sometimes it genuinely is just repositioning. Yeah, see, like, I can't leech on these guys, so, like, I just end up using a lot more resources to get through those fights. But to be honest, like, it's not that bad. Like, I've gained full juvies. You know, I have more than I had when I started. Curse, but honestly, one at a time, with more, with bite, just refill my health. Like, this is what this guy is here. Like, this is what this guy wants. Not more shockwave. And when you get those engagements, it genuinely feels good. When you just like shockwave a bunch of enemies and you just pop them all like zits, like before they can even come out of the stun.
Good day.
Hello.
Hello. We'll definitely need to get some town portals.
I've heard that you...
So this is one thing that's like, for me, is like a test of a build, is like how quickly am I going through town portals? Like how long do I just literally spend down here getting shit done, as opposed to like constantly having to come back to town. And I won't lie, this guy has to come back to town a lot.
Not enough mana.
But it doesn't feel that bad. Oh, that's really nice, like being able to just leech back the mana from the mana burn. Yeah, when that ability works, it's really good ability. Some grass or something relatively soon, but I definitely want to get more out of there. The other thing is, like, if you have Crushing Blow and if you had Open Wounds, which I don't, but like you could literally kill people with the bite. I mean, I could very, very slowly chip them down with the bite either way if I needed to. But if you just had a little bit of open moves in addition to the crushing blow, like this actually becomes like a really stupidly safe way to just like get through tough stuff. But obviously, it's better to like only use it when you need it. But it's cool to have that option, like cool to have something to play with. And it's nice to have, like, one of the things I do like about both druids is, you know, the bear and the wolf is just like having access to leech. I'm just gonna take that nice and slow. Oh my god, what the hell just happened there? I probably want to get that curse off now. But like, see this is like, oh, now I gotta go get the curse off, and like, come on, game. Like, there's some things in this game that it's like, you know, you can play around them, and even as a melee character, it can kind of feel good
Greetings.
to like outplay the
Not in
bullshit.
town.
But like, what is there to outplay? There. There's literally nothing to outplay. It's just a big red piece of shit that stops me playing the game. What am I supposed to do in this room? What is fucking happening to my health? Is this just poison? It's crazy, but it's like I was genuinely scared to go into that room precisely because of what just happened. Because I genuinely feel like I have no fucking control over like what my character attacks or where they go when it's a busy room like that. The auto-targeting in this game now is so fucking balked.
I can't carry anymore.
That like just any hope of like being able to do things like, you know, in like a cool and like precise and neat way is just like, nah, shove it up your ass. Sorry, people need to play on console. So like all I wanted to do was stand in the doorway of that room. And, you know, just try to like funnel stuff into a more manageable position, but for some reason the enemies just did not want to physically leave the room. So I kind of had to go in there. This is the third cursed enemy in a row on this single level. Like, this is what I mean when I say like the game just literally just, if you play as a melee character, like you are literally playing the dick up your ass the whole time. You didn't ask for it to be there. Like, they weren't polite about putting it there, and they don't care if it's traumatizing you. It's just non-stop. It's literally just like, oh, okay, every second fucking boss pack puts a curse on you that makes the game literally unplayable, forces you to go back to town, like, and you probably need to go back to town because you need to fucking repair your stupid like, you know, you don't even talk about some of the shit that casters don't have to do, right? Like having to spend all your money on weapon repairs. Our melee weapons in this game so fucking strong that they need to like be uniquely nerfed with like a special, you know, go fuck yourself tax. You know, like the only reason durability exists in this game is because I don't know, it was part of the marketing for Diablo 1. Because Diablo 1 had so few systems in it that was like, oh, here's a system we can talk about. Cursed again. Jesus Christ, I didn't even notice it. Like, I'm just so used to having this shit over my head. Now it's like, okay, now I can actually, like, you know, kind of do something, but I still need to fucking go back and get the curse taken off me because I'm just taking too much damage too fast.
Hello.
I've said it before, I'll keep saying it, I don't care that they're updating, whether they're ever gonna update this game or not. Like, it literally doesn't matter. I'm, like, never going to stop fucking talking about what a piece of shit mechanic that curse is. And the level of brain rot that it demonstrates from the devs in just how fucked the balance in this game is between caster and minion. Like, everyone knows it. Like, look at this. Like, I can't even move, I can't even attack. Because I'm wholly freeze, I'm cursed, I'm taking fucking double damage. It's just like, alright, I just let the mercenary do it. Like, look at this. Look at my fucking attack speed. Like, what a fucking joke is this? But my casting speed is still is still usable. Because, like, God forbid anything fuck with a caster in this game. So I have to spend this, like, entire fight. Like, you saw how much shit was in this room, right? So when I say, like, this is not a mechanic I get to actually interact with, this is what I'm talking about. I'm saying there is a literal wall of meat on every single tile. This guy is sitting in this corner, but because he just exists there, he gets to completely fuck me and make this entire fucking, like, 4-minute, like, misery slogfest into just absolute fucking, like, cancer-inducing nightmare garbage. And the whole fucking reason it does that is because I'm a melee character and I could just go fuck myself. Like, a sorceress just sits in the entrance to that room and just throws AoE spells into the room and just laughs and doesn't give a shit about having a curse on her head. A fire druid does exactly the same thing. A summoner just stands in the doorway, like, literally jerking themselves off while their minions just walk into the room on players 8 with no plus skills and just kills everything for them while they literally stand there AFK watching a YouTube video. Like, the balance in the game is so comical that it's like, what I'm describing is fact. You can literally go, like, I'm like 100%, I'm telling you, like you want to see the most broken shit in this game is something like a summoning druid that like at least a fucking necromancer needs dead bodies. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least there is some pretense of weakness there. It's not a weakness, because, like, once you have all your revives, once you have all your skeletons, everything else, like, they literally just win the game for you. They cannot lose. Like, you can literally go into, like, players 8 boss fights, and they just beat the boss to death. Like, maybe 4 of them die or something. It's so comical how stupidly overtuned summoners are in this game, and it's like anything with like AoE, You know, anything that basically just doesn't need to hit enemies, anything that hits multiple enemies at a time, blah 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 blah. I've been over the math of like just like, you know, the mechanics of like increasing area on AoE attacks does, you know, it is like if you increase the area by 50%, you are not doubling the amount of stuff that it can damage. You may actually be like quintupling
It is an honor to serve you.
and then if you increase the area again by like another 50%, you may not even be quintupling it anymore. You may be increasing it to the point where like, you know, at step 1 it can hit 3 enemies, at step 2 it can hit 12, and at step 4 it can hit 40. Like that's how AoE scales. And it's like, it's a really basic, like, you know, concept of like mathematics and area and all this sort of stuff. And even like a high school age person should understand it. But it's amazing how often like game devs just don't understand it. They're just like, what? Wait, how come we can't balance AoE and single target? And it's like, I get it, this is an old game, but like I play new games that genuinely have the same problem. And it's like you literally just need to get someone with like, you know, a high school education, a high school understanding of maths to explain the concept of it, like to explain the multipliers. You know, and like this ability against non-fire immunes is barely starting to scratch what I would say like abilities need to do to justify being single target. I mean, like, single target abilities in this game to justify like just how bad a single target ability is at everything in the game, apart from like, you know, killing things one at a time, like should pretty much one-shot everything. I mean, like, no plus skills, no need for like a god tier weapon, like just like, you know, on like let's say you're just a berserking barb, you just have all your synergies max and everything else, and you just have some like basic ass magic weapon. In hell, it's an elite base magic weapon. You should one-shot everything. 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 You should one-shot uniques. You should one-shot champions. You should one-shot possessed. You should one-shot moonlords. There should be nothing that is completely immune to your damage. It should be balanced in such a way that it's like, you know, 50% physical, 50% magic, or that it's magic but it automatically sunders magic resistance. Like, if we started to talk about that as like that's the basis for like single target damage in this game, then we're actually starting to like get to the point where it's like, oh, okay, sure, yeah, all right. Now that's actually starting to sound like balanced. And like this, like again, as I say, against non-fire immunes, Fire Claws is actually starting to get up there where it's like, you know, where it's like those are the kind of numbers that it needs to be posting. But it's obviously it's not where it needs to be, because like 90% of everything in hell is immune to fire, so you just, you know, have to suffer. But it's like one of the reasons why I don't mind playing this build is purely because of that. Because it's actual like single target damage that is sitting somewhere near where single target damage should be sitting to feel strong and feel good. Like, the one thing I should be able to do is just walk up to like a super unique, a champion, you know, whatever, even just a tanky normal enemy, and just absolutely fucking dominate them with like one-on-one damage. Like, and that's just not the way the game actually plays when you play those characters for the most part. And that's why like I hate them so fucking much. Like, I think I've told the story where it's like I was playing my Berserk Barbarian. That's his job. His job is literally to just ignore everything and just go for elites and absolutely bully them. Like, he's supposed to be the elite 1v1ing machine, right? And he just ain't. Like, I was playing him through on hell with like so much like muled gear, you know, completely babied, and he couldn't beat Thresh Socket. Like, just him and Thresh Socket, you know, like you and me, bub, let's go. Just the fucking two of us. And I literally couldn't beat Thresh Socket. I mean, I could, but it was like, you know, I needed like 7 full jubies to do it. And at that point, you're just like, why am I playing this piece of shit? Like, he has one job and he can't even do it. Because like, oh, well, this guy's just, you know, This guy puts a curse on you, basically, and that just means that he can basically one-shot you. Like, you need to be at full health to safely take a hit from him. Which means you, as soon as you take a hit, you need to either full jury or run away. And then it's like, you're looking at the damage you do to him, and you're just like, hold on a minute, I'm gonna have to hack at this guy for like, 25 seconds to kill him. And then at that point, it's like, this is why something like the Amazon with the 60 damage bow just clears hell, like complete full recline, effortless. I don't know. Does my head in. Like, I think, yeah, if I were looking at this game again, I would definitely give Fire Claws an AoE explosion. And when I say that, I don't mean making it like, I don't know. I mean, look, Fire Claws is just a bad. You can make it work, but it doesn't make sense. It should probably work. Actually, I was gonna say it should work like Vengeance, but actually, no, that would make it bad. Because if this ability converted your damage into fire, I would despise it. What I actually like about Fire Claws is that it gives you 2 damage types. Why does this thing... Like, why do I do 8,000 damage and I can't kill that? I'm also just... yeah. Okay, there were multiple elites in there, fair enough. Freaking Defiance Aura. I hate this thing. It's another one of those things that's just like... Oh, there were 3 elites in there. Okay. We're not doing too badly then. Like, why? Why is this thing, like... so unkillable? Okay, and then I just like slap that one and it crumbles to dust. I suspect it was already very low.
Blessings to you.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I just wish this guy really because like playing melee characters in this game is super fun. Because just like, okay, you want to know why? Like, you can go to any random Diablo 2 like YouTuber and try to find them playing through the game with summoners. They'll do it because people will eventually beg them to do it. Because people ask them to do all sorts of builds. People say, oh, do it as a throw bar, do it as this, do it as that. And, eventually the people who who play summoners, their voices are going to come through and they're going to be like, oh, do it as a summoner. And, enough people are going to vote for it because they've done everything else. And they're going to think, oh, yeah, do it as a summoner. You want to see a boring, garbage video? Go watch someone play through the game as a summoner. It's literally just like AFK brain rot gameplay. Like, there's actually nothing. Like, it's even worse as a druid. Because at least as a necromancer, like... At least as a necromancer, there can be some, like, juggling of curses, so you feel like you're kind of doing something. And, if you get bored of like waiting for your minions to kill everything, you can just like nuke everything with corpse explosion, even if it's only at level 1.
I am
So
overwhelmed.
like at least there's like a little bit of gameplay if you're doing it as a necromancer. Actually, hold on, what was that? No. No. Alright, I think the way out is going to be upstairs. Let's get out of here. I'm probably just going to portal at the Viper Temple and then end the stream. But yeah, like, summoners, as I say, they're the easiest thing to win the game with. Like, they're so easy. They're so, like, just strong for, like, literally no reason. But there's actually no gameplay with a summon. Like, you just summon everything, you walk into a room, and everything of yours just beats everything in the room. Like, you get to an act boss, you just get all your minions, you go, and they just kill the act boss. Like, it's so unengaging and easy. And it's like, the summoning Necro was kind of not great, but not bad in, like, OG Lord of Destruction, and I had so much more fun playing summoners back then. Because it was genuinely like, oh damn, you know, like my minions are getting like busted up. You know, I've got a quick switch to Decrepify, and oh look, we got a kill. Now I can start like corpse explosioning. Ooh, it's not quite like getting that like full chain reaction. We need like another kill or two. You know, you were actually kind of like, at the very least, like watching a fight that could kind of go either way, and you had some tools to like influence it. When you play a summoner now, like I say, you just walk into a room on player's 8 and your summons just kill everything. Eh, not a bad charm. Oh my god, poison.
Tell me your troubles.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this game that like is kind of just a fun tax for melee characters. Like Curse. But yeah, look at these guys. Like, when they're not fire immune, they just get bullied. And being able to use Shockwave to kind of stop them charging is pretty nice. I'm so bad at navigating the freaking Claw Viper Temple, but I always consider Fang Skin to be like a good milestone for your character. See how much you struggle. Is it freaking Obedience that gives cast rate as well? No. Oh, that's right, it's inside. So I was gonna say a little bit of cast rate on this, like, wouldn't be bad. But, you know, it's a two-handed melee build. You don't really get to like have like fun item puzzles because everything has to be resistances. which is fine. Like, at least obedience is strong enough a weapon that, like... Yeah. I keep saying it's like, oh, my resistances are so broad. Half the time when I'm getting like really, really battered, it's just melee crits. Like those beetles that were like really messing me up. It was just their physical melee attacks. Like the amount of damage you take in this game when you don't have a shield is just disgusting. And I don't think that any weapon is strong enough to justify that. But obedience is getting there. It's actually, and it shows you how stupidly bad the two-handed weapons are, just in terms of like base balance in the game. That like, you know, obedience, one of the most fucking broken things in this game. If you consider its rune cost versus like everything it does.
Good evening.
If you compare it to like unique or set weapons that you could get at like a comparable level. I'm not even saying comparable amount of rareness, because it's not rare. Like nothing about obedience is rare. It's extremely easy to target farm in obedience. Well, not extremely easy, but it's definitely doable. You should just spend enough time on hell counters and you'll get obedience. You know, even if you have to like cube up a bunch of like lower runes to get your Ko and your Foul. That. Honestly, the like random change back, it genuinely makes it feel like this is a class that someone like modded into the game and then didn't do it right. Like it's just anti-quality of life, you know? And there's nothing wrong with games being hard. Like I'm choosing to play a character class that is considerably harder than my other options. You know, I could be playing a, I could have this on and be playing, to be honest, could be playing a summoner with this, because Ravens are your main DPS. Could be going Summoner, could be going Fire Druid. I've got the Flame Rift there. I've got this. Hell, I literally just changed none of this. Just put that on and then just respec into like Fire Druid, even with like needing all the strength and everything to hold that, and just win the game way more easily. I kind of want to try this little axe though. Okay, pop off, crazy little axe, like what the hell? Alright. But like, you see what I mean when I say like how weirdly balanced two-handed weapons are, right? Like, we won't really know until I find some physical evidence, some fire evidence. Because so much of my damage is fired. But look, This axe is doing 7,000, like 6,000 to 7,000 damage. This is doing 6,000 to 10,000. Like, I'm sorry, that's not good enough. Of course, as I say, the difference is like this thing is going to do a lot more physical damage. And I got a lot of the chance to cast amp damage, but it just doesn't freaking synergize with anything a barbarian does. And zealots don't want to be freaking using a two-handed sword, and druids literally get punished for trying to use a two-handed sword. It's just one of those weapons of like, who's it for? Alright, let's actually like whip and whip. Alright. But like, there's a unique sword, like the scimitar or something, that has a bunch of open sockets in it, 2 open sockets. Like, you just take that and chuck a couple of like flame facets. Okay, so I genuinely could not walk away from that. A lot of the time when I play this game, I feel like there's some like really horrible like input delay. And then it's like, it feels like a lot of the time inputs just literally disappear. I don't know, it's weird. I think it's just, it could also just be me getting used to like the hit recovery system, but I also feel like I shouldn't be getting that fucking bullied by hit recovery when I have like 30%,
The sun warms
20%,
once more.
you know, 40% on the melee if I'm using it. But yeah, this isn't particularly amazing shield or anything. Though I do think this is a really good shield for a Blade Sin. Because they will benefit from the added elemental damage. They don't really need the shield to block so much. It's just the resistances.
Good day.
But yeah, genuinely surprised by how I shouldn't be surprised by how hard this hits, because it is just like a freaking good weapon. Like, yeah, the ED is not the greatest, but with minus target defense, big deadly strike, super fast attack speed. Honestly, even this thing will just crunch stuff if it's not immune to fire. So just pop that back on. And probably actually do more damage with this, as crazy as it sounds. Yeah, comparable. High or low? And that's just the plus skills coming through. The problem there is like, yeah, it doesn't have the minus defense, so AR kind of stinks, but it's fine. Alright. I did say I was going to wrap this up, but...
You may not pass.
Maybe we'll just go grab the Arcane Sanctuary waypoint. Like, I can't really complain about the bear.
When the trouble I have heard.
Like, the bear's problem is exactly what the bear's problem should not be, in my opinion. Which is that the bear is, like, it's so hard to explain. It's like, yes, he has a lot of health, but it's just like a wall of meat, you know. Like, yeah, you've got a lot of health to kind of spare, but Jesus Christ, you take damage. But yeah, see, like, they are immune to fire, and I switched to the obedience. And it gets the job done. The problem is, like, of course, I can't actually see my weapon switch because, you know, druids aren't supposed to like have fun or have any amount of quality of life. But this is not too bad. Like, this is players 3. It would be a lot faster if my mercenary was here, and I'm just kind of like wondering where the fuck my mercenary is. Because we've literally just been like wandering through this dungeon for so long, and I haven't even seen the little prick. But yeah, like, you can just get it done when you can keep them stunned like that. Yeah, the mercenary kills the guys who are immune to fire faster than I do, but that's to be expected. He has cold damage. And, you know, he's not exactly like... lacking for just physical damage either. It's not an ethereal Reaper's Toll, but... honestly, I wonder how that would go on the bear, but I feel like... come on, you need the fucking resistances. Like, you just don't have any choice but to have an obedience or duress, I suppose. Is that another one that gives you all res? But like, just being able to do these areas at all as a Fireclaw Druid, to me, is pretty cool. Because I've seen a lot of people have really bad times with Fireclaw Druid. Like, dealing with the immunes. And remember, this is players 3, like this damage is not even that bad. And we just chunk him down. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. Just had no fucking time for waypoints. Playing this act. Oh, okay, yeah, no. So that's shit you just skip, right? And I mentioned how I did deal with a pack. A double champion pack of Fanaticism Archers when I was going through the jail. I'm not doing it again today.
Good day.
Like, I can already tell that's just going to be misery to fight. It's just going to get my mercenary killed 60 times. I'll throw myself at it once.
Approach and let's trade.
It's not just the... like what it is, it's the positioning of it as well, which is the biggest problem, and then it's the fact that in this freaking act, I have to walk a marathon to get my mercenary back, so maybe I will just fucking skip it. No, look at that, it's just, this is like 60 fucking archers with Fanaticism, like, and I can't even like, see, if I could get to these guys without exposing myself to everything, then like maybe, but it's just like I can't control the fight. I can't kite them out of that room. They won't come out of the room. There's literally nothing I can do aside from like, yeah, like I could try to kind of sneak over here and hit one, but then it like completely derps my game out and fucking tries to make me run into the room. Yeah, there's nothing. Like, it's the positioning And there's just nothing I can fucking do about it. It makes me so angry when I have to deal with shit like that in the game, and it like I'm just literally forced to run away, like absolutely cucked by it. But what can you do? Like, I could spend the next 15 minutes just rezzing my merc and trying to clear it, or I can actually just go get the fucking Arcane Sanctuary waypoint and actually play the game. I've said it before, auras in Hell are so stupidly overtuned, primarily in like just the sheer amount of enemies they buff. Fuck off. They just won't fucking leave the door. Like, are we fucking... Alright, you know what? I can't be fucked with this shit. Fuck it. Doesn't matter. It's the same fucking dungeon layout. Whether I get my shit back or don't. I'm just gonna go in there with spell steal and just fucking ignore it. But like, this is why, like, I don't know, shit just puts me in a bad mood.
It is an honor to serve you.
You know, it just comes down to like, I just want shit that I can like
Good day.
engage with, right? Like problems that create gameplay, where it's like, hey, now I have to play my way around this. But instead, the game so many times is just training you to like, you know, to basically say, no, you cannot play your way around this. We've taken every option you could possibly have away from you. Like, the enemies can literally kill you in 3 seconds. Their damage output is so insane. But you can't physically get to them. They have the ranged advantage. You know, they're immune to most of your damage. You can't leech life back off them because they're undead, so go fuck yourself. Like, everything that you would use to, like, stay alive, to benefit yourself, is worthless to you now. Like, you have CC, but it doesn't matter because they're so spread out, and them being spread out doesn't even, like you could say, like, oh, okay, well, they're going to be spread out. Less of them are going to be in the aura, but no, it doesn't matter. It's Hell. You can go fuck yourself. The aura covers the entire goddamn tile set. Why is... Why did I just have to... Like, I just put fucking teleport on the... Whatever, it doesn't matter. We just want out at this point. But see, like, this is the problem. It's just like, you get to the point where you're just like, there's no gameplay to be had here. This is just like... And it's like, actually give me some fucking gameplay here. Like, I don't give a shit that they're immune to fire. I don't give a shit that they're fanaticism. Because I actually have the capacity to deal with them. And even if it's slow, and even if it's grindy, like, I would rather fucking play the game than skip the game. But so often the game, like when you play a melee character, the game just says to you like, no, you have to skip this, go fuck yourself. Man, why couldn't they just have like decent lightning resist?
There's nothing the right portion can't cure.
And I'm not even worried about the Arcane Sanctuary, to be completely honest. Because this is gonna be grindy, but like, whatever. That's literally all it is. It's just grind. They can just throw all the fucking bullshit, immune to physical, immune to fire, I don't give a fuck. Like, this shit, okay. This will never fail to put me in a bad mood. It's just like, oh look, another mechanic that literally exists only to fuck you if you're a melee character. Because for some reason it doesn't completely like sodomize your casting breakpoints, but it utterly fucks your ability to, like, you know, do melee attacks, even if you have Cannot Be Frozen. That's literally just the game waving its dick in your face at that point. It's like, hey, you farmed Cannot Be Frozen, so you didn't have to spend the entire fucking game frozen and just flatly have your DPS output halved because fuck you, you're a melee character. But fuck you, we're gonna halve your DPS output anyway. Get fucked. You just have to be frozen no matter what. Like, shit like that is just like, I would so fucking love to see a balance patch of this game that, like, look, I don't even care anymore about, like, having fun when I play melee characters. Because it's like, I know it's never gonna happen, right? But here's what I would love to see. I would love to see the game wave its stick in the face of casters in the same way it waves a stick in the face of melee characters. Like, I would love to see a bounce patch in this game where, like, a person playing, like, a sorceress on ladder has to spend 3 days grinding Nightmare Mephisto just to have the equipment, to have the damage to even go through Act 1 hell. Where, like, every third boss pack just puts some fucking STD in your brain that forces you to go back to town. Like, as a caster. Like, you just cannot play the game. Like, alright, you know what? It's just a spell that just stops you casting spells. It's just a curse. It's like, now you just can't cast spells until you get the curse off. I'm sorry. And it stays on you for 3 minutes because it's hell. So just go back to town and get it off you every time it's on you. It just stops you playing the game. Like, can you imagine if people had to, like if that was actually the experience of playing casters in this game? Like, I can fucking promise you, like, most of this shit would have been fixed, like way back in this game's, like, life cycle. Because people would literally just stop playing ladder if the experience of playing casters was as miserable as it is to play a melee character. Just get the mercenary in there. And I'd kind of love to see, but more than I would honestly more love to see the, just come on, just like stop fucking waving your dick in my face. That's literally all I ask. Like, I don't care if the game is challenging. That's fine. Like, 1 pack of Fanaticism Archers is enough. That's enough, right? Like, it doesn't need to cover half the tile set. Even 1 pack can completely fucking annihilate my health because I don't have a shield. But it's like, no, I have to fight through 2 packs of archers who just get it for free before I even have a chance to maybe kill the guy who has the aura. Like, you know, and they're so spread out, I can't see them. If I tried to walk into a place where I could see, like, I would literally be dead before I could even physically get into a position where I could, you know, get a good chunk of them with Shockwave. Or you might, and this is the really dangerous thing, is that, like, you might think you're kind of doing okay because you realize that actually they just fired their first 3 volleys at your mercenary and at your oak sage, both of at your fucking your spirit, both of which got absolutely nuked. And you know, now they're going to shoot at you, and you thought you were doing okay, and then you're gonna actually realize like how quickly you fucking die. But yeah, I really hate shit like that. And again, it's like, look, fucking don't care about challenge. Like, the number of fucking times you can literally see in my gameplay where, like, you know, I'm like, oh shit. You know, and then like a couple of seconds later, like, you give it some space, you kind of play around it, you mess with it, like, you know, you try to get like an angle, you try to like work out something to do, like, that's literally what I fucking want from this game.
How may I help you?
Like, that is when I actually have a fun time playing this game, when it's like a puzzle.
Greetings.
But so often, when you play the game as a melee character, it's telling you to solve a jigsaw puzzle, but then telling you you can't have any jigsaw puzzle pieces. You know, it's just like, oh, okay, can I put down that piece? No, you can't put down that piece. It's hell, it doesn't work. Oh, okay, well, can I put down this piece? No, you can't put down that piece because this guy is immune to that piece, sorry. Well, can I put down this? No, you can't put down that piece because they have range advantage and you don't. So, you know, sorry about that. That piece doesn't work here either. Okay, do I have any pieces that work here? No, you have nothing. Okay, how do I solve this puzzle? You don't. You solve the puzzle by doing this. They killed the sage. The sage is the biggest piece of shit. Like, I fucking hate that thing. Like, you need it, obviously, but like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it just like pure evidence of how much the devs in this game fucking loathe the druid as a character and just don't give a shit about it being fun to play.
Hello.
Unless it's a summoner, because, you know, summoners are just completely broken. But it's just like, so it's just a weaker paladin aura that can be killed. You know, once upon a time, the druids, they used to be immune to physical, and they changed that because it was like, it made them too useful. I'm not even fucking joking with you. Like, they were literally like, oh, what? Wait, druid players are having fun with something? They're using it, it has utility, it has value to them? We can't have that, fuck you. So now it just gets 3-shotted by, like, everything. And to be honest, it just shouldn't take damage at all. It shouldn't even have health. It should literally just be a visual effect. It just floats around there and uses the aura. The aura is not so fucking busted that you know, that you should be allowed to have it taken away from you. In fact, it's kind of weak. And you know, it's not like people are out here maxing it. And one of the big reasons why no one maxes it is because it is a buff that can just randomly be taken away from you. Which is like, it's one of those things where it's just like, it's good to have, but when you need it, you're probably not going to have it. The game's going to find a way to take it away. And this is one of those things where, like, you'll see me, like, just having an absolute fucking whale of a time with shit like Slow's Target, because Slow's Target is the opposite. Slow's Target is saying that, like, Slow's Target is when you actually get to, like, you know, you get to be the arsehole. You make the rules. No, 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 no. Oh no, I'm sorry. You're immune to CC, are you, List of the Tormentor? Go fuck yourself. You were 75% slow. Like, oh, you're an act boss? You don't care about CC? No, apparently you do. My CC says you can go fuck yourself. Like, it's like, finally, I actually have a mechanic that, like, you know, that genuinely makes me feel powerful. That makes me feel like I have some, like, ability to, like, control the pace of things in the game. Like, as a melee character, right? Because obviously casters have all that shit just, like, coming out the wazoo, obviously. You know, big chunk of that is literally just called damage and ranged advantage. Like, the amount of shit in this game that, like, would be a problem for you, but, like, well, you can just kill it before it is a problem. Or you can... Or you can literally just, you know, kill it from a strong position, or you can bait it into a shit position, or you can use ranged attacks to, you know, to peel it apart. Like, the amount of just, like, control it gives you over a fight is freaking huge. And it just was not balanced correctly. But one of the things I said about a lot of games like this is that, like, you can, if you actually balance single target damage, like, to the point where, like, it's as strong as it should be, it will still kind of suck. Mercenary? Mercenary. Like, are you actually fucking with me? Are you literally trolling me? Like, he started to come around the corner and was just like, nah, fuck you.
Welcome to my shop.
But yeah, it's like, even let's say single target damage did everything it should, right? Which is basically what it would do if you have, like, god tier weapons and endgame setup. Then yes, your single target whatever would genuinely, like, you know, be one-shotting everything, which is what it should do. And it should do that without endgame. But yeah, it should do that without endgame gear. But whatever. Okay, fine. It doesn't. But even if it did, it would still be bad. Because this is a game where you take on, like, packs, you take on hordes. And where being able to kill stuff quickly, kill lots of enemies quickly, gives you massive advantages in the sense of... It's not a bad charm, but... Yeah, wait, what am I doing? Portal back. But yeah, it gives you massive advantages of, like, being able to level up quickly, being able to MF better, blah 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 blah. So even if it were quote-unquote balanced, the single target stuff was still solid. But for some reason, I don't know, devs just have this weird... It's not just this game. Like I said, I've played, like, you know, a lot of more modern games. I have the exact same problem. Like, I play Warframe. Warframe is one of those games that just, like... Single target is garbage. They already tried to, like, hard nerf all AoE. I mean, they kind of tried. They didn't really do a good job of it because... Basically, what they did was they nerfed the, like, the AoE that, like, players had really easy access to. The game is legitimately unplayable without AoE. I'm sure there's someone out there who does it, but, like, Jesus Christ, I don't know. Like, it's not the kind of game that, like, you get, how to explain it? It's like... So, like, one thing I will say for this game is, like, this game, you feel good when you like kill a mob, especially if it's like a tough mob, right? You know that's gone from the tile set. So whatever you fixed the problem, you got rid of something that was doing damage to you. Most of the time, what it really amounts to is just the fact that like now you have space to use. You just made some space for yourself. So like if these were like fanaticism ghosts, I could run back. I have that space to work, right? I have all the space stretching all the way back to the waypoint, and it's like, so I feel good that I've cleared all the mobs between here and there. You know, the map kind of forces you to, but I would do it anyway, because to me, playing these games, I feel much better playing them when I have space to work with. It feels really awful to play these games without space. Like you feel like you're being like bullied and smothered. It's terrible. Like in a game like Warframe, it's like, okay, imagine like I just killed that goat. Now imagine before I've even killed that goat, a new goat spawns and just runs into the map. And that just never stops happening. As long as I'm on this level, on this tile set, the number of enemies will basically remain a constant. The spawn rate is so high. So, you know, there's zero dopamine to be had for like killing an enemy. And you're killing enemies for the chance that they will draw stuff. So the only way you're actually getting dopamine, and the drop rates are like not great, right? So the only way you get dopamine is when you're just like absolutely, you know, just nuking rooms full of enemies like really fast, because that's kind of what you need to be doing. You need to be like killing stuff really quickly. For it to be rewarding. Yeah, I can put this down to play as one, and most of this stuff will just get like one or two shotted. Like everything fire immune, everything that isn't fire immune is just one shot. They practically get one shot even now. And everything that is fire immune will probably just be like 2 or 3 shotted. I mean, like if I were to turn the player settings now. Alright, so this is because I don't want to be like standing there just getting like glacial spike while I slowly chew through these goats. And look at that, like I didn't even notice the Oak Sage died. The freaking spirit, you know what it is. But yeah, I knew that was going to be easy. Not a stress, not a problem. There's very few super uniques in there. Very few uniques rather. It's just grindy spot. But there we go. And just slowly getting through here.
I feel no.
Like I said, this guy is doing okay. I mean, this is not like, this is a really nice item, but honestly, I feel like I would probably take less damage if I just had a really good resistance belt. Just like really clean up this, particularly like lightning and fire, like just get them like at least get lightning up to like 50 and fire up to max. Like I would take a lot less damage than with the Dungos, but I don't have a like great resistance belt. This is just the best thing I can slot. Maybe IK belt, but I think that's cold and fire. But yeah, like Ring is okay, Ravenfrost is nice, Jalal's is really nice, you know, the Hustle anyone can make, the Obedience anyone can make, you know, the Natalias, they could just be rares. In fact, rare boots can get way better than this. The gloves, I'm mainly wearing them for IAS and fire resist, so like, again, it's like a really nice rare would actually be better. Like a rare with like 2 resists would be like, chef's kiss, especially if it had some IAS as well. So like just really basic stuff. Like this is just some random ass druid thing that I gambled. The resistances and plus on skills is nice. A little bit of MF is nice. This is really basic shit. The only thing I think I have that's like, you know, pretty good are like a decent set of charms, but like nothing world beating. Like a lot of this is just kind of like, some like really basic kind of like elemental damage. Nothing special. some 20 lives, which are nice. All the large charms are good. They're all like pretty much all just giving like a fat chunk of attack rating, which is like exactly what you want on something like this. Like you want that flat attack rating because you got a lot of multipliers on your attack rating, so you have a decent amount of flat AR. You know, you can just hit stuff really well. And I can't lie, I'm kind of impressed by how well this guy is going through hell. He does have, you know, shared stash gear, but if you had to do this as a solo self-found, like I said, like these are free. You just farm them on the countess. Like, you know, you probably won't have a Jalal's, but Christ, like farm a Rockstopper. A Rockstopper might even be better in some ways because of the. Actually, no, this thing has all res 30. The all res on this is crazy, but still, a Rockstopper is a serviceable replacement. A rare belt's better. Rare gloves probably better. Rare boots probably better. The amulet can be so much better. This ring could be better. Like, I would rather have like a couple of big resistances than, you know, just like a smattering of everything. But yeah, gonna take a break from this now. Go touch some grass. And then at some point, I like this he's my boy now because he found me this. So like whatever else he does, he's kind of like earned his place in my heart because this is like legitimately my favorite bow in the game. But I think this is a really bad roll. I'm kind of scared to look it up. I think it's max 180, but I could be wrong. And if it is, then I'm definitely not gonna upgrade this one. But yeah, cool to find it. Anyway,